ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final round of the Cmsc Race at Home ACC Championship. We are here at Circuit Spa-Francorchamps with an action-packed 12-car grid at the moment for this final shootout here in qualifying. The lap times are rapid. They're around the 2 minute 16 mark at the moment, as of practice, but we have quite a few returning superstars in the name of, we have Brian Clare returning after falling ill in the previous round. Brian Clare has made his return to sim racing this weekend in his BMW. We have another return of Mohammed Bauzo in his Ford Mustang. One of the fastest drivers on the grid this year has missed a couple of rounds due to unavoidable reasons, but he is back. He's looking to try and secure pole position on his first time out here on his return. However, this grueling 7.44 kilometer circuit can really be a test of your precision, as one small error could result in you exceeding track limits, invalidating your lap time, and then being forced to complete a whole 2-minute turnaround to essentially come back around to complete yet another lap. As we ride on board with our champion for this season, even with the drop round rule, Dehanaranga has clinched the championship in the last round. He is quite a distance away. He's almost over 40 points ahead of Angelo Senaratne in second. So we continue on with Dehanaranga, but we'll move up the field a little bit to see the first completions of flying laps. We have Shane Wirakun coming around in his McLaren 720 to complete what will be the first proper lap in qualifying today. Will it be a valid lap time? It is a 2 minute 20.725, but we will soon see Dehanaranga possibly beat that lap time at 2:18.370. What is the pace of Fawzul Alim? He's 2 tenths down with a 2:18.6. Brian Pereira coming around with 2:20.6. Denon failing to set a proper lap time. Savi hits in a 2 minute 19.8. That must have been in lap invalidation by Denon. Angelo Senaratne with a 2:18.9. So the lap times are not at its peak at the moment. I'm sure with track evolution and with driver evolution, we will see some quicker lap times, as Siobhan sets a 2:22 with Nirosh Yashan banking in a 2:21. So we have completed the first couple laps. Brian Pereira, his lap time does not seem to have counted. So the lap time that Brian supposedly set of a 2:20.6 was invalidated, so he will have to go around once again for another lap time, with Denon's 2:19.8 also being an invalidation. And either way, Brian's lap time was somewhat off the pace, a bit slower than his usual standards. It would have set him around the 5th place or 6th place mark, with Denon's lap time would have maybe set him around 4th place in contention with Sami Ratnayaka. But nonetheless, they're coming around to either cool themselves down, prepare themselves for another lap, or they might also just be on yet another hot lap as we speak. As we move further up the field though, a bit of a Constantino effect here, with Shane coming to a halt, returning himself to the pits. We have Dehanaranga flying away potentially on yet another lap. What will Tehan Eranga be able to produce here? Tehan Eranga rounds the bus stop chicane and come across the line. Will he be able to go faster? 218.270. It is quicker, but only by a tenth of a second. Fauzul also goes quicker. He's 800ths off Tehan Eranga. Brian Pereira sets a 218.9. He's 6 tenths down. Denan Sekra sets a 218.6, but it's yet another lap invalidation for Denan. A 218.5 for Angelo Senaratna. He's 6 tenths off. Here comes Shivan Vitarana, a 220.8. He's not able to improve significantly. Nirosh Yashan is, however, able to set himself a valid lap time. He's 3 seconds off the pace. Shan Amersinho, will he be able to set a valid lap time? He is not. That was potentially his out lap. He will ideally be starting his first hot lap now. Savirat Naika comes across the line. Is he able to go quicker? It's a 219.8. He was not able to improve. That was potentially his out lap. So Savi also starting another flying lap. Ranidu Karanayatna coming to around Huon to finish, or Blanchimont should I say, to finish his lap on his build up to the bus stop chicane, decelerate, down the gears into second gear, into first gear for some cars, through the bus stop, and now the traction zone, the run up to the line. Was it a legal lap time from Ranidu? It wasn't. It was a lap invalidation once again. Tarun Gunaseyana also having a lap invalidation somewhere along the course of that lap. Tehan Eranga flying through to complete yet another lap time. The lap times are slowly dropping. Can he be the first man into the 217s here in qualifying? Nicely stopped into the bus stop chicane. Nicely apexing both bus stop corners. Across the line. Is he able to get into the 217s? He is. It's 217.8. 4 tenths up on his previous lap time. 3 tenths up on his previous lap time. 4 tenths up on Fauzul. What can Brian Pereira do? Brian Pereira sets a 218.7. It's only a couple tenths improvement. Denon is able to set a valid lap time, and he's up into P4. The next of the runners up to the line is Nirosh Yashan. And he complete a valid lap time here and set anything higher than P9. Most of the drivers have been struggling with setting valid lap times without invalidations. Nirosh Yashan is able to jump up to P8. Here is Savirat Naika. He's run very wide there. That could have potentially been a track invalidation. Nonetheless, he is continuing to power his way through. You can see the Maxim Mesh branding on the side of his car as he runs up to the line. And Savirat Naika stays P6. He has a small improvement. Savi has claimed he might be just a little bit off the pace today as he completed the final round of the Speedway Cockfight 2024 Championship round yesterday, with Savirat Naika managing to secure a rookie podium in the KT100 two-stroke 140 to 155 class. Savi taking part in the 155 kg class. He was able to secure a podium on his first time out in the cut and in the heavy rain. So Savi has claimed he might be a little bit off the pace in this final round of ACCT. But as the drivers power their way around the track, we are yet to see the fastest laps being set, as Tehan Eranga has gotten himself into the 217s, the first man to do so far in quali. What will we see from the likes of Fauzul, Brian, and even Denon? Tehan Eranga finds his way to the line. Is it an improvement? It is an improvement by a couple of thousandths. As he files away and parks up to return to the pits, Brian Pereira, what will he be able to set? With 3 minutes left in the session, Tehan ideally will be coming into the pits and then have time for one more outlap, and one more qualifying lap. Brian Pereira to the line. What is he able to do? It's a lap invalidation, or it was just an outlap. So Brian will begin another lap. Denon Abisekra improves, stays in P4, but it is a small improvement from Denon. Hiroshi Ashan heading over to the bus stop chicane, just a little bit hot into the chicane, but gets the car slowed down just in time. Now on the traction zone up to the line. What lap time can Hiroshi Ashan set? That seemed to have also been an outlap from Hiroshi Ashan. Xavi Ratnaika, a little bit wide on the second of the two bus stop chicane corners. Is this an improvement from Xavi Ratnaika? No. We will go around for one more lap. Mohamed Fawzul with a small improvement, but still 3/10 off the Hanaranga. We're seeing a familiar sight once again with the return of the two dominant Ford Mustangs heading the field. Angelo Senaratne still about a second off the time of the Hanaranga, but he will start his final lap here in qualifying. Shane Miracle coming around the final corner to not improve, but he does have time to set one more qualifying lap. Tarun Gunasena now heading through Blanchimont and on his way to the bus stop chicane. Tarun Gunasena does not improve his lap time. He has time for one more lap here in qualifying. Fine down the grid. Here is Tehanaranga. If he decides to complete this lap and stop quali, this will be his final lap, but I believe this was just an outlap for Tehanaranga, so he will be building his way up to one more lap. But no, he has returned to the pits. Tehanaranga feels he might have pole position in the bag, but he has quite a few big names coming up behind him. Here is Brian Pereira. Try and improve. He is not able to do so, but he continues on his way for one more lap. Ranidu Karunaratne up to the line, is not able to improve. We have Hiroshi Ashan on his way to the bus stop chicane. And complete the valid lap time and climb up from P8. The lap time was slower. Xavi Ratnaika, this might just be his final lap in qualifying as the clock ticks down to 0 seconds. Xavi improves, he's just behind Angelo Senaratne. Fawzul also improves to be just under 2/10 behind Tehanaranga. Angelo Senaratne, what can he do? It's not an improvement, and it was very close stuff for Angelo Senaratne there at the end, as Xavi Ratnaika got to within thousands, 7,000s behind his lap time. And it's very close stuff from 3rd place to 6th place. That is a very close battle. But as expected, the Ford Mustangs, the powerful Ford Mustangs, are excelling in these Spa conditions. The long straights here at Spa are really playing into the hands of the Ford Mustang. Brian Pereira is on his final lap here in qualifying. However, it doesn't seem like the BMW has the legs to challenge the Ford Mustangs here today. He's 7/10 off Fawzul Alim in second, and he's a whole 8.5 tenths behind Tehanaranga. So Brian Pereira is one man yet to complete qualifying alongside Denon Abisekar. Can either of them improve? It's the 3rd and 4th place drivers. Brian heads through Blanchimont into the bus stop chicane. Will he be able to at least get onto the front row here? It doesn't look likely, but anything's possible for Brian Pereira, the 2-time GT Race at Home champion. What can he do? He's not able to improve. Can Denanabe Sekura improve from 4th place? He's also not able to improve. And that looks to be the end of qualifying here at Spa. It is Tahanaranga on pole ahead of Fawzul Alim, followed by Brian Pereira, Denanabe Sekura, and Angelo Senaratna rounding off the top 5. Savirat Nayaka in P6 with Shane Virakun in P7, Nirosh Yeshan, Shevan Vitarana, and Ranilu Karunaratna rounding off the top 10, followed by Shan Amarasinghe and Tarun Gunasena, who were not able to set valid lap times.
so you can start 40, you can win, but important for the first 3-4 hours to be out of the mess, so it's quite important, and it's always nice to be in front of everyone.
All good so far, let's see what you can keep it up, thank you. So you're currently P15. Do you think you can go faster than I qualifying? I think you can.
I hope so. First shot we did was okay, but we had a bit of traffic and could have been better. And we changed something on our car for the second one, and it wasn't really an improvement, so we couldn't improve our time, unfortunately. So now we try to brainstorm how to put everything together. We have a good car, but as I
30 seconds.
There's so much experience in these new rally tires, so we're trying to work it out. We have one more shot to go. It's our best. It's quite a bit different.
20 seconds.
It's obviously a different concept of a car, but it's a very cool car to drive. You have to work at it, and it's fun. And it's quite a challenge. And it's
10 seconds.
I think it suits my driving style, so it's nice. Everything was new, and in the beginning it was quite a lot to learn. And now since the second half, it's going pretty well. I'm just starting to feel at home, and I think it's really cool. So I'm enjoying it.
Let's see how it goes, thank you.
So it looks like they got a 6 now. Yeah. But whether that was caused.
So we're back. Car's found their way around Spa. For some reason, Sabirat Naika finds himself all the way back in 12th, with Kevan Samarajiva, one of the latecomers to this race, finding his way in last, potentially doing a pit lane start. However, it is very confusing to see why Sabirat Naika is all the way down in 12th position, having qualified a good 6th place. Xavi in his Lamborghini is essentially starting from the back of this grid. Does he potentially have any mechanical or software issues at the moment? Yet to be seen. He might be suffering from some hardware issues in the build up to this race. Nonetheless, 2 Ford Mustangs file their way through on their way up to the line. So they roll their way along. Still red flag conditions. The start might be. We are close to the start of this race. As the cars line up in double files. We wait for the green light.
Green light, show them where
There
you're
it
going.
is. The cars are off on their run up to Rouge. The Hanoranga leads Fawzul Alim through Rouge. It seems like all the cars have been able to make it through in one piece. There is some contact behind, but it looks like everyone has been able to manage through Rouge. But up in the front, Fawzul Alim looks to have a run on the Hanoranga. He's not able to make a move. Brian Pereira and Angelo Senaratna go side by side into Lecom. And Angelo Senaratna is able to make a move on Brian Pereira. Brian Pereira shuffled down to 4th place, with Denan Abesekra losing the place to Shane Virafun as well. Savirat Naka from the back has found his way up into 9th place at the moment. And we see Savi looking for another move on Ranadu this time. But up at the front, it is the Hanoranga who leads the way ahead of Fawzul Alim. This looks to be a race-long battle in the making here, as the 2 Ford Mustangs seem to clearly have the legs on all the other cars at the moment. The champion is being followed by Fawzul Alim. Can he shake off the resurgent Ford Mustang with both run considerably wide? But now in the distance slipstream, can Fawzul stick close enough to Tehan to build up, close in with Tehan in the slipstream and possibly go for a move on the Kemmel Straight next lap round? There's close fights behind. It's a late braking move, and there is contact between Nirosh Yeshan and Shane Virukun, which has allowed Denan through. Denan is now into 5th place, with Shan Amusingha holding off Shevan Vidarna. But will Shevan go for a move around the outside into turn 1? Shan brakes very late. Can he get the car stopped in time? There is contact between Shevan and Shan. Shan has lost a few places, and both cars will undoubtedly have damage. But as we fire our way up onto the Kemmel Straight, Fawzul Alim is in Tehanaranga's slipstream. Tehan moving from side to side, trying to break the slipstream. Will Fawzul go for a move into... At the end of the Kemmel Straight, he is not able to make a move. But Fawzul is right on Tehan's tail. This is the first time in quite a few races that Tehanaranga has actually had any competition whatsoever from the lead, aside from the one Paul Ricard race in round 4. The top 4 are considerably close to each other, much closer than in recent races, as Brad Pereira is still only a second away from Tehanaranga. Or should I say, he is about 2 seconds away from Tehanaranga, back in 4th place. As we move a bit further behind, Savirat Naka, who started 12th in this race, is now 7th in the order. He is catching Miroshashan, who will undoubtedly receive a post-race penalty for the incident with Sean Anderson, or with Shane Wilson earlier. Back up the order. Fawzul Alim is still in the slipstream of Tehaneranga. He's not let Tehaneranga fly away in the lead, but will he be able to close up enough? Tehan is deep into the bus stop. This has allowed Fawzul Alim to close up considerably. Will he go for a move into turn 1? No. He thinks better of it. But now, can he get a good enough run on the run up to Aruj and Radion? He is right there behind Tehaneranga, but now will the dirty air of Tehaneranga force Fawzul to take a different line, to basically be compromised a little bit? No. Fawzul seems to have had a good run up Aruj and Radion. Will Tehaneranga go for a major defensive move here on the run up to Lecom? Fawzul is in the slipstream. Will he go for a move? He thinks better of it once again. Even with that level of slipstream, he was not able to go for a move, but Tehan has gone a little bit deep into the at the end of the Camel Straight. Fawzul is right there on his tail. And there seems to have been a collision further back between Savirat Naika and Miroshashan. Miroshashan getting involved in the second collision of the day. This does not seem to be folding out into a good race for Miroshashan. That's 2 collisions in the space of 2 laps for him. So we resume proceedings with Angelo Senaratna at the front, now trying to join the fight for the lead. Remember, Angelo, Brian, Denon, all these drivers were significantly off the pace of the Ford Mustangs in qualifying, but are their cars just coming alive in the race tune? As we see Fawzul Alim just dropping back from Tehaneranga slightly. The gap is now 8/10, so it's never been this large. But nonetheless, all the drivers are significantly closer to each other than in recent races. We move a bit further back to Tarun Gunasaya now. Oh, that's a big moment there. Further back for Miroshashan. Miroshashan will be in the slipstream. Shavan Vitarana. Shavan undoubtedly running with damage after collision with Sean Amirasinghe. Will Miroshashan be able to go for a move? He might even go for a move into the bus stop chicane here. Shavan goes defensive. It's a late braking move, and what a move from Miroshashan. He goes right around the outside of Shavan Vitarana. As we move back to the front of the grid, the gaps have opened out just a little bit to around a second between each of the drivers. Juan Pereira currently sitting in P4. He lost his 3rd position from qualifying in the first corner of the race to Angelo Senaratna. Savirat Naika, after his collision with Miroshashan, finds himself in 10th, with Kevan Samarajiva having moved up a place ahead of Ranu Karunaratne. Back in the front, Karunaratne has now found his groove. He's trying to resume normality here with an ever-increasing gap out front. While Shavan Vitarana is looking to hold on to the back of Miroshashan and try and stick with him after being overtaken around the outside of the bus stop chicane. Miroshashan under investigation for 2 incidents today, one with Shavan and one with Shane and one with Savirat Naika. But things are close. Things are still very, very close between the entire top 4. And now, Jedinade Saker as well joined the party. He is also only 2.3 seconds off Brian Pereira. As you see, Rosh Hashan, man with clearly a good race pace car. He is also in the Ford Mustang, so Rosh Hashan definitely has some pace in his bag, in his locker, on the run up through Blanchimont. Will he go for yet another move around the outside into the Basel chicane? He thinks otherwise, but Tharum Gunasena runs wide, pressurized into running wide by Niro Shashan. Niro Shashan moves up into P7. A shot. You see Shah in the pits. Dahadaranga has started to eke out that gap out front. Gap is now 1.7 seconds ahead of Al-Zalaib. Brian Pereira finds himself in fourth, followed by Delanabe Safra, another 2.4 seconds behind. Shane Viraku finds himself in P6, but we have a resurgent Niro Shashan climbing his way back up the field. He will undoubtedly be catching Shane very, very soon. But back, we have the resurgent Samir Ratnayaka trying to climb his way up. Further back, we have Kevan Samarjiva holding off Rajendra Paramaratna. Kevan, having not participated in qualifying, finds himself down in 11th, but climbing back through, trying to catch Sami Ratnayaka in 10th, who is currently sitting 24 seconds ahead of him. But Sami is on the tail of Shevan Vitarana. He will look to try and make a move at some point. Sami started 12th for some reason, dropped down, found his way up to P7, but then had a collision with Niro Shashan, who struck him down to P10. So he is now on the back of Shevan Vitarana. The Lamborghini does have the legs on the Ferrari around this circuit. Where will Sami go for a move? Around the outside of Blanchimont. What a move. What a move by Sami Ratnayaka. Shevan quite evidently backing out of that. However, there was a little bit of a look from Niro Shashan, who was not able to go for the move just yet. However, out front, Angelo Senaratna has closed right up on Fawzul Alim. The gap is around 0.6 of a second. Might just be a little bit too far back to make a move on the Kennel Straight. But Angelo Senaratna has really found some pace, so maybe Fawzul Alim has just dropped off the pace just slightly. Angelo Senaratna now hounding Fawzul. The Aston Martin has extra downforce in comparison to the Ford Mustang, so he might just be able to force an error out of Fawzul Alim through the corners, through the middle sector of this circuit. That is Angelo's best chance of getting into second place in this race. As we see Fawzul Alim taking a much wider line as opposed to Angelo Senaratna, where Aston Martin able to take a more tighter line without losing speed in comparison to the Ford Mustang. Stefan Aranda flies away out front. The gap is now 3.1 seconds. It's now Fawzul Alim in the other Ford Mustang, which is coming under fire from Angelo Senaratna. The man is second in the championship at the moment, trying to secure that second place. And what better way to do it? Potential second place. So Angelo Senaratna is in the wheel tracks of Fawzul Alim, but this final sector is what plays into the hands of the Ford Mustang. Angelo now right up behind Fawzul Ali. He needs to try and be within 3 to 4 tenths of Fawzul coming onto the Kettle Straight out of Rouge Radion. Can he break late enough here to turn 1 to even foster an error from Fawzul Ali, which has taken place? Fawzul jumping over the sausage curves on the outside of La Sauce through Rouge and Radion now. The Aston Martin is just a bit too far behind. He doesn't have the acceleration and top speed that the Ford Mustang has. So once again, Angelo really just needs to try and force a mistake out of Fawzul Alim in the middle sector of this lap. Return to the action. Angelo Sinaratna is closer to Fawzul Alim than ever before. He is just 3 tenths behind him. Can Angelo fight back here. There's a big battle brewing further back as well. 4P7. Angelo sitting around. Is he close enough? He's around 3 tenths behind Bausel. But it looks like the Ford Mustang just has the legs on the Aston Martin to stay ahead down the Kendall Straight, unless Angelo is able to make a massive late braking move. He has stayed behind. Samurai Naika now, or cutting across Rouge. So we're looking to try and fight his way back up the field. He's now in 8th behind Shane Ruku. Will we see a move for 8th place, or for 7th place should I say, by Samurai Naika fairly soon. Very close here. It's very close stuff here for P6. Denon's 5th place is also in sight for these drivers. Denon has fallen back 14.5 seconds away from Brian Pereira in 4th. Sabi getting a good run out of what was of the corner walk, which is once known as No Name Corner. Sabi is down the inside at Puan, and he makes the move stick. He is now into 7th place with Shane Rurakun starting in behind him. Sabi has managed to climb his way back up to P6, or P7 should I say. He's now hunting down Miroshesha for P6. Angelo Senraka falling back just slightly from Bausel Alim here, but he's able to close up just a little bit. Under braking into the bus stop chicane, is he able to force a mistake out of Bausel Alim? Angelo could even potentially look to make a move into La Source. He is very close this lap around. The move might have to be made into La Source here. Will he go down the inside? No, Bausel Alim just goes a little bit defensive. Now, can Angelo get a good enough run out of La Source and potentially go for a move up Rouge and Radion onto the Camel Straight? He's fallen back just a little bit once again. The move might have had to be made at La Source for Angelo, as he seems to be too far behind Bausel Alim once again. It doesn't look like he can make a move on the long straights, on the long Camel Straight. Yes, it seemed to be that the move had to be made down at La Source. Once again, Bausel Alim outbraking himself. Will Angelo be able to get a run on him and make a move in the middle sector? He makes a little bit of an error there. Had to correct it. He lost a little bit of time to Bausel. Bausel has run very wide, but cuts back, take it on as he normally would. You can see Angelo seems to be getting very annoyed, being stuck behind the Ford Mustang, which has cost him quite a little bit of time to Tehan Tehan out front, 6.7 seconds ahead now. Further back, things are getting close. 5th to 9th place is all separated by under 5 seconds. This is the crucial battle to keep an eye out on. Seems to have dropped back just a little bit from Bausel Alim on this lap. The move might have had to be made earlier on at La Source on the last lap. It seems like Angelo has just lost his opportunity to make a move on Bausel Alim. He is still relatively close to the back of the Ford Mustang, but through this first sector, the Ford is just able to pull away from the Aston Martin and not give Angelo a chance of even pulling a move on him. Further back, however, we have a battle brewing for P6, or P5 should I say. The Ford Mustang of Nirosh Yashan is now on the back of Denon Abisacra. Denon, in his Ferrari, might not have the legs up the Camel straight. Both drivers getting very close to the edge of track limits. But here comes Rosh Hashan. Will he be able to go for a move on Denon Abisacra? Denon goes slightly defensive. Who's going to outbreak the other? There is sideways contact. There is more sideways contact. But it looks like Rosh Hashan has just got the move done through Lecom. But Denon Abisacra looks to be fighting back, but he runs a little bit wide. Can he go for a move into any of the slow corners here in the second sector? This is a sector which Denon should have the pace of in comparison to Rosh Hashan. He's very close to Rosh Hashan. All this battling is allowing Savirat Naika to close in as well. We see Denon Abisacra now suddenly awoken. He's trying his little best to find his way back past Rosh Hashan. Things are very, very close for these two. Things are very close between Angelo and Fausto as well. But you can just tell that a move is brewing here. Rosh Hashan's taking a much more finer line in comparison to Denon Abisacra, as Denon is now in the slipstream of Rosh Hashan. Will he be able to go for a move? We know the Ford Mustang is powerful in the first and last sectors, but can Denon stick close to the slipstream and go for a move in the fast stop chicane? Things are close. Things are very close. Will he go for a move? He does not. He thinks better of it. Further up the field, Angelo is also very close to Fawzul Alim. So just right on board with Angelo Senaratna. Let's see if there's any possibility for a move here by Angelo. It doesn't look like it. He seems to be just a little bit too far behind once again. Into Lecom. He's not able to do so. Is there a move here? Denon Abisacra has lost a little bit of time to Rosh Hashan through this uphill sector. It just doesn't look like Denon is going to have the pace to even catch and overtake Rosh Hashan. Rosh Hashan seems to have taken P5, but look at the slipstream and look at the power of the Lamborghini. Savirat Naika goes down the inside, and it's a block pass from Savi. However, he runs a little wide. Denon switchbacks, and what a switchback by Denon Abisacra. Savi just went in a little bit too hot and allowed Denon Abisacra to maintain his 6th place over the Lamborghini. Great racing action here. We ride back with Angelo Senaratna and Fawzul Alim. Things are still very, very close between these two. Fawzul, though, seems to have been able to pull out just a little bit of a bigger gap on Angelo as the pit window has opened. Once again, is Angelo going to be able to pull off another masterstroke in his strategy? The master of strategies this season has been able to undercut and overcut countless drivers when the time comes. Angelo seems to be dropping off the pace just slightly in comparison to Fawzul. Further back, Brian Pereira in 4th, having a very quiet race, 7 seconds behind Angelo, and with 17 seconds ahead of Rosh Hashan in 5th. You see Brian Pereira, the first of the stoppers. He's entered the pits, and so has Rosh Hashan, and so has Savirat Naika. So many of the drivers deciding to make their pit stops early here at Spa. Kivan Samarjiva exiting the pits after completing a drive-through penalty. return to the action. This just goes to show how long the pit lane is here at Spa. We see Brian Pereira still in the pits, only just exiting the pit lane now. However, the likes of Tehaneranga have only just entered the pits. Tehaneranga, the leader, enters the pit lane. But where is everyone else? Niroshishan leaves the pits. Savirat Naika will inevitably leave the pits as well.
We are halfway through, keep pushing.
So Angelo Sinaratna enters La Source. He is now the leader of this race. Will he be able to overcut Fawzul Alim as he has done to many other drivers this season? Angelo will ideally go out for maybe 1 or 2 more laps. With 4.5 minutes left in the pit window, this might be Angelo's last lap before pit stop, so this will be his in lap. That means it is time for Angelo Sinaratna to push. Any sort of pace he was not able to commit to due to dirty air will now go out the window. This is now Angelo's moment to put his foot to the floor and try and jump Fawzul Alim in the pits. Another thing to note is Savirat Naika has come out significantly further behind Niroshishan. In the pits, Niroshishan is a good 14 seconds ahead of Savi when the gap was only around 2 seconds when they came into the pits. We'll stick with riding on board with Angelo Sinaratna. Angelo will inevitably go into the pits on this lap. Will he be able to overcut anyone? It looks good for Angelo to potentially overcut Fawzul Alim, considering how close the gap was. It was only around 0.6 of a second when Fawzul came into the pits. Does Angelo fall into the pits? He does. So we'll ride on board with the leader, Tehan Eranga. He has found himself 12 seconds ahead of Fawzul Alim. Brian Pereira filing his way into provisional 4th once again. Denan Abisekar coming out in 5th. So normality resumes after the pit stops. But Shane Gurkun having a big moment up Rouge and Radiant, and that has allowed Savirat Naika to fly past him. Savi jumps up into 8th in this race. As the pit stops continue, it's very likely for Tehaneranga to file back into the lead of this race. But what will happen between Fawzul and Angelo Sinaratna? See Fawzul heading through the final corners of this circuit, heading through Blanchemont. Where is Angelo Sinaratna in comparison to Fawzul Alim? Things are going to get very close as they enter, as he exits the pits. Fawzul makes his way through the bus stop chicane onto the main straight. Tehaneranga has flown, is about to pass Angelo Sinaratna for the lead of the race. But where will Angelo Sinaratna be in respect to Fawzul Alim? Tehaneranga gets, should I say, Angelo Sinaratna coming out of the pits. It looks like Tehaneranga has jumped into the lead but it looks like Angelo Senaratna has taken the place away from Fazil Alim. So once again, the strategy master at work. He manages to get into second place with a key out the crucial inlet. Was able to put out some serious pace and has now managed to jump Fazil Alim. He is 2.5 seconds ahead of the Ford Mustang. So as usual, Angelo Senaratna has been able to split two Ford Mustangs here at Race at Home, and he is now in second place, but he will have a very angry Fazil Alim on his tail. He will be fighting to hold something back.
Closed.
As the pit window has officially closed, it doesn't look like anybody has suffered from making a mistake by not making a pit stop. The gap, which was 2.5 seconds, is now only 1.3 seconds between Fazil and Angelo. So, although Angelo's in-lap was a powerful one, Fazil's out-laps have definitely trumped those of Angelo's. As Fazil is looking to try and get within a second of the Aston Martin. We know with how powerful the Ford Mustang is, it would ideally allow Fazil Alim to close up. Being lapped at the moment. He runs a little bit wide, lets some of the lapping cars through. Or should I say he almost is? No, he is actually fighting for position here with Ranidu Karunaratna both having penalties. Or should I say, just Kevan having a 30-second stop-go penalty, which will have to be completed in the coming laps. Ranidu with the Ford Mustang looking to make a move on Kevan Samarajiva. Will he be able to do so? He moves to the outside, but he now shuffles to the inside. It's a very late defensive move from Kevan Samarajiva. He's able to stay ahead of Ranidu at the end of the Kemal Straight. Ranidu went a little bit wide, loses a whole chunk of time. All the while, Nirosh Yashan starting to close the gap to the lap cars. Wide moment there for Kevan Samarajiva. Will we see a move by Ranidu? Not right now, but Kevan runs a little bit wide, so does Ranidu. All the while, these battling cars are slowing down the lead lap car of Nirosh Yashan, the man in 5th place. As Ranidu goes for a move but isn't able to do so, but he then lets Nirosh Yashan through. Kevan Samarajiva will be getting blue flags, so we need to let Nirosh Yashan through at the earliest, and he does just that. After all that, Kevan is able to stay ahead of Barun. However, to no avail, as he is being left. So here we go. It's a battle for P2 after the strategy masterclass by Angelo Senaratna to get himself into second. Fazil Alim has turned up the pace and definitely has the pace in this second stint. The Ford Mustang clearly having the legs on the Aston Martin as we go up a Rouge and Radion. Look at how close Fazil's been able to stick with Angelo. This move is definitely imminent. Fazil sticks in the slipstream of Angelo, waiting for Angelo to maybe move to the outside. Angelo has the inside line though, and he's able to hang it. There is contact between the two. Fazil Alim jumps across at Lecom, and keeps second. And he now heads on through, but he lets Angelo Sinaratna back through. Very smart stuff by Fawzul Ali, but he immediately goes for a move down the inside of Angelo Sinaratna. Definitely a talking point for the stewards, as Fawzul Ali did let Angelo Sinaratna through, but immediately retook the position, albeit with Angelo Sinaratna running wide on his own accord. So definitely something for the stewards to think about. However, the last thing Angelo Sinaratna wants at this stage of the championship is to face the DNF. As Angelo is currently in a very good position. He is sitting in second place. All he needs is to stick with Fawzul, secure third, and secure second in the championship, as his closest rivals are Denon, Savi, and Brian, who are all significantly lower down the order. Fawzul Ali is obviously fighting to try and get into the top 3. It's possible, but I don't believe it is possible for Fawzul to get into the top 2 or top 3 at this stage. The best he can accomplish at this stage is a 4th place finish in the championship. However, after all that chaos, it seems like Angelo has been able to regroup himself and stick with Fawzul for yet another lap. Brakes a lot later than the Ford Mustang. Can he get the run out of the corner to back up the late braking? That is around 4/10 of a second, but Upper Rouge and Radio on that gap increases to over 5 or 6/10 of a second. As Angelo mounting the inside Upper Rouge and Radion, as we see Brian Pereira into the pits. This is very concerning stuff, as one of the front runners, Brian Pereira, has decided to make a pit stop, and there's an incident with Shane Virakun as well in P8. What has happened here? Very confusing stuff here, as Brad Pereira has essentially pitted, is going to lose a whole chunk of positions here. Savi Ratnaiko also flies past Brad Pereira. Savi jumps up into P6 now. Niro Shashan is now in P4. As Brad Pereira exits the pit, what was all that about? Sorry, Brad Pereira entering the pits, this super long pit lane. He will now be serviced at this next pit zone. Very, very confusing stuff here, as we see Tehaneranga still leading the way out front with a clear margin over Fawzul Alim and Angelo Sinaratna. Fourth is Niro Shashan at this stage of the race, with Denan Abisekra trying to make a fight back. Brian Pereira is still stationary in the pits. Do we think there was some kind of issue for Brian? It's very likely to have been the cause. Tehaneranga setting the new fastest lap of the race on the last lap at 2 minutes 17.3. And let's just see the lap time of Fawzul Alim at 2:18.6. That's the difference between these two. Tehaneranga a whole 1.3 seconds faster on that last lap. Once again, Tehaneranga showing an absolutely dominant display out front. Brad Pereira now leaving the pits, albeit having lost a whole chunk of positions to the other drivers. He exits the pits right next to Denan Abisekra, who now laps the BMW. This is surprising stuff to see. Brian Pereira in this position. He's down in 10th place. And this is potentially dashing any chances of Brian securing a top 3 position in this year's championship, with Denan Abesekra in the driver's seat to secure 3rd. Right now for the man 4th in the championship, just needs to try his level best to get ahead of Denan Abesekra at this stage of the race. But based on their drop round penalties, or drop round deductions I should say, it looks like Savi is 3 points behind Denan without the drop rounds. So it looks like Savi just needs to try and close up this 8 seconds and try and overtake Denan. It's a real shame, as he would have been in the running to do so if not for his contact with Miro Shashan early in the race, which resulted in him spinning out and losing a whole chunk of time. However, it is not over. Unlike last round at Nürburgring, it is now Savi's turn to try and catch Denan Abesekra. We know that the Ferrari of Denan has struggled at the end of his stints, which are the tires with fuel. Moving further up the field, 3 cars very close into this proximity. Denan Abesekra only 1.7 seconds behind Miro Shashan in 4th. So while Savi is trying to close up Denan to try and take 5th away from him, Denan is, on the other hand, closing up to Miro Shashan. Fawzul Aleem has now made a pit stop from second in this race. What is happening to all these drivers? Are they required to be making all these pit stops? As you saw Brad Pereira making a pit stop a couple of laps earlier, Fawzul Aleem has now found himself in the pits. Denan Abisekara continues along with all the other drivers in the top 6. Oh, very bizarre, Niro Shishan now finds himself in the podium. So are we set to see a pit stop from the rest of the drivers in the top 6? As Fawzul Aleem falls down the grid. Riker now finds himself in P5. He's slowly but surely catching Devon, but it's not fast enough to catch him by the end of the race. Fawzul Aleem now leaves the pits, with Shevan Matharana now closing in on Shane Ruku. Another pit stop further behind, but Dehanaranga continues on for another lap. It is yet to be seen why Fawzul Aleem made a pit stop here. Very bizarre things. 7.5 minutes left in this race, so will we see a late flurry of pit stops from the rest of the top 6 and from the rest of the drivers? Things could still very much change here, with Denan Abisekara now very close to Niro Shishan. He's under a second away. Niro Shishan now catching back markers as well. Niro Shishan is catching Darun Gunasena up ahead. Denan Abisekara is closing in all the while. Suddenly, pit stop of Fawzul Aleem, this fight between Niro Shishan and Denan Abisekara has turned into a fight for a podium rather than a fight for P4. There's far more on the line now. However, it is yet to be seen if all these drivers also have to make a pit stop. Seems to slightly be pulling away from the Abisekara in P4. The more he catches the back of these lap cars, the more dirty air he's going to face as a result. Oh, there might have been a moment further back. There was a moment further back between Shan Amarasinghe and Denan Abisekara. Shan has thrown Denan out of contention here and has allowed Savirat Nayaka to fly through into P5, or into P4 should I say. This is huge for the championship, as this would inevitably mean that Savi Ratnayaka will potentially be either 3 or 2 points ahead of Denan now. Some bizarre stuff here, as now Niro Shishan has just got past Darun Gunasena to basically lap Darun. We hope nothing else happens between Darun, as we've already seen one lapped car cause a collision now with one of the podium runners. You can see things get very close between Denan and Shan Amarasinghe, and undoubtedly Denan will now have damage to that Ferrari. Some unfortunate stuff now for Denan, as he's once again taken out of contention from a potential podium. However, out front, Tehaneranga has now increased that gap to 21 seconds with 4 minutes left on the clock. Where it's crucial for us to see now whether Tehaneranga will make a pit stop, or if any of the front runners will make a pit stop for that matter. Also, Aline finds himself a lap down on the rest of the grid from 5th place downwards. Shane Murphy to the left, the McLaren, who is suffering from significant front end damage at the moment. We're entering the final few laps here at Spa. The final 2 laps, by my calculations, being set to commence. Dylan Abisekra is not letting that collision with Shana Singh ruin his spirits, as he is now catching his championship rival for P3 in the championship. It is yet to be seen what the final points tally will be after the drop rounds are commenced. So, although Savirat Nayaka is on his way to be maybe 1 point off Denon in the championship, after drop rounds it is crucial to be seen just how close they are, because by my calculations Savi will potentially leave this race being 1 point off Denon Abisekra.
Right, man. Leader is on the final lap. Give it all you can.
It's very likely that Savirat Nayaka might be on his way to collect P3 in the championship, with his drop round being a 1 point deduction in comparison to Denon's drop rounds being a maximum of a 10-point deduction, which means that Savi might be leaving this race 8 points ahead of Denon Abisekra. So it's crucial for Denon to try and get back past Savi and just limit the damage of his drop rounds. However, this man, the champion of this season's ACC Race at Home Championship, he's absolutely blown away out front. He was 3rd in the iRacing Championship as well, which just finished last weekend. And he's on his way to complete just yet another top 3 finish in the championship. This time, it's 1st place in the ACC Championship. He's been the class of the field. He has definitely been the class of the field this season, having won 4 out of 5 races and 1 second place in Paul Ricard. It's been absolutely dominant stuff this season from Tehaneranga. So Tehaneranga finds his way through Blanchimont for the final time, into heavy braking on the bus stop chicane, around the final corners, and Tehaneranga caps off an almost perfect season. After his drop round, he will have 4 race wins out of 4. It's 4 race wins in the season and 1 second place to cap off an amazing 5-round championship for Tehaneranga. Shevan Vitarna finishes off in P7, and Angelo Senaratna finishes off 22 seconds behind, and he will secure 2nd in the championship. Shane Wirakun, suffering from significant front-end damage, will manage his way through to finish off in 9th, but it is a close battle further behind between Denon and Savi Ratnayaka. Nirosh Yeshan will cross the line in 3rd place, but we are yet to see who finishes ahead out of these two. Savi looks on course to finish in 3rd in the championship with the drop round. Oh, there's a big contact between the two rivals for 3rd in the championship, but it looks like Denon has just slowed himself down to allow Savi back through. Savi will finish this race with significant rear damage, but luckily for the both of them, neither will lose any positions. So Savi finishes off in 4th, with Denon Abesekara finishing off in 5th place. Some scary moments coming across the finish line. Fawzul Alim will finish off in 6th after a surprising late pit stop in the race. From what could have been an easy 2nd place for Fawzul Alim, he has completed uncharacteristic pit stop late on, and he will round off the top 6, with Ranidu Karunaratne finishing proceedings off in 11th. So there you have it. You have your champion of the 2023 Race at Home ACC season, Tehaneranga. Thank you very much to all the viewers for sticking with us for this championship, and there is definitely more to come in the coming months. So stay tuned to the Savannah Motorsports Club socials to find out more about the upcoming championships. So until next